Good morning, students. Previously we have discussed pre-fertilization events where we studied gametogenesis and gamete transfer. In the gametogenesis we have seen that the gametes were formed in the parental body through cell division, and in the gamete transfer these gametes which were formed had come close to one another. In the next event, that is fertilization, the male and the female gamete got fused, resulting in the formation of zygote. And moving on, the four post-fertilization events, these are the events which will occur after the formation of zygote. So these are the events after formation of zygote. Whatever might be the type of fertilization, whether it is external fertilization or internal fertilization, the resultant is always the zygote. In case of external fertilization, since fusion of gamete is happening outside the body, even the zygote formation will also happen outside the body. In internal fertilization, since fusion is happening inside the body, the zygote formed are also inside. Whatever might be the cases, the resultant of fertilization is always a diploid cell called zygote. And now these zygote will further develop into embryo. Here, the zygote, as soon as they form, they can be developed into embryo, or the same zygote can undergo a resting period and then they can germinate into an embryo. In this case, suppose if this is a zygote, in the resting period, the zygote is covered by a thick wall which give the resistance to desiccation and damage of the zygote, and later on a favorable condition, this zygote will start germinating. In few cases, like organisms which exhibit haploidic life cycle, the zygote can divide into spores, and each spores on a favorable condition can develop into new individual. Clear? The zygote formed, that is resultant of the fertilization is zygote. The formed zygote can immediately develop into embryo, or the zygote can undergo a resting period where it is covered by a thick valve, and this wall will protect the zygote from the damages or desiccation, and otherwise the zygote can develop or divide into spores, and these spores can germinate into new individual. Here, the zygote which is forms a vital link between two successive generation. Say suppose this new individual which is formed, it is forming from the single cell called zygote. This zygote will get divide and differentiate to form a new individual. But how is this zygote formed? This is previously formed by the fusion of gametes which were present in the parental cell. Therefore, the zygote will provide the link between the previous generation and to the next generation. Hence, you can say that zygote will form a vital link between two generations. And now, how is this zygote developed into embryo? You call it as embryogenesis. The development of embryo from the zygote is called embryogenesis. Yes, embryogenesis. So embryogenesis, here the zygote which is formed will undergo cell division, and further these divided cells will undergo cell differentiation. And thereby you can see the formation of embryo. The zygote will undergo cell division. Always cell division will increase the number of cells, and after once this is a zygote, After cell division, you can see there is increase in the number of cells, and now each cells will undergo differentiation. So differentiation is what? The cells will not divide. They will further modify to form a specialized tissues to organ to organ system and organism. And that is how the embryo are developed. So during embryogenesis, the zygote will undergo cell division and divided cell will get differentiate to form a embryo. Now, based upon the development of zygote, whether it is taking outside or inside, there are again animals can be categorized into two groups, that is called oviparous and viviparous animal. Now, oviparous and viviparous. Oviparous meaning these are the animals which will lay egg. O stands for egg. So, oviparous are the animals which will lay egg, whereas viviparous are those animals which will give birth to younger ones. Example for oviparous, reptile and bird, and here viviparous is mammals including human may belong to viviparous animal. So here the fertilized eggs are covered by a calcareous shell, and the fertilized egg, after covering with this calcareous shells, they are laid in a safe place. After a particular period of incubation time, the egg hatches into young ones. So the younger ones are hatched out of the egg in case of oviparous. Other side, in viviparous, what happens? The zygote is developed inside the female body. After attaining certain age, the young ones, when it is fully developed, the young ones are directly delivered out by the female organism, that is viviparous. And this is in case of animals. Coming to the plants, in case of plants, the post-fertilization events they can ask, this is an important one, post-fertilization changes in case of the plant. So here the zygote will develop into embryo. In case of plants, see here, after fertilization, that is the male gamete which was present in the pollen grain. In previous class we have seen that this is the pollen grain which will sit on the stigma. After the fusion of this male gamete with the egg, you call it as now it is a egg. Once it fused with the male gamete, we call this egg as a fertilized egg. So now this will result in the zygote, and finally egg after fusion, it results in the zygote, and zygote will develop into embryo. Next, what happens is the petal and sepals fall off. Sepals and petals will fall off, including if stamen is present, this will also fall off. And the ovary which is present here is converted into fruit, and the ovule will develop into seed. Clear? If they ask you for the post-fertilization, that is what happens in the plant after fertilization is, after fertilization, it is the zygote which will develop into embryo, ovary is converted into fruit, ovule is converted into seeds, the remaining portions, that is the petal, sepal, stamen, everything falls off. Clear? And the ovarian wall, whatever it is there, that will be converted into fruit wall. You can call it as a pericarp. So with this we will complete first chapter, and till now we have discussed what is lifespan, and we have seen some of the lifespan of organisms lifespan, what is reproduction, what is asexual reproduction and sexual. And coming to asexual reproduction, clone is important word, and all asexual reproductive structure, that is in case of zoospore, conidia, buds, gemule, everything including vegetative propagals in angiosperm are important questions. And then we have moved to the sexual events. In case of sexual events, we have studied them under 3 events, that is pre-fertilization, fertilization and post-fertilization events. Clear? And yesterday in assignment I have given few questions. Hope you have solved it. Yeah. Regarding the important questions which I have given yesterday, that is what is lifespan, define clone, what is reproduction, all the terms juvenile, reproductive, senescent, embryogenesis, name the plant that flower once in 12 years. Hope you have got answer for everything. What is parthenogenesis? Give 2 example. What are hermaphrodites? When both male and female reproductive organ is present in same organism, you call it as hermaphrodites. Differentiate between asexual, sexual, ostrus, menstrual, external, internal, homogamete, hetero, everything. Yes. What is zoospore? Zoospores. So zoospores are asexual reproductive structures, and these are motile asexual spores that utilizes flagella for the movement. Coming to the zygote, zygote are formed as a resultant of sexual reproduction. They are non-motile diploid cells formed as resultant of fertilization. I repeat, zoospores are the motile asexual spores that utilize flagella for the movement. Zygote are the non-motile diploid cells formed as a resultant of fertilization. Next, continuous and seasonal breeder, oviviviparous, all are direct question. Name the asexual reproductive structure in case of Hydra, Chlamydomonas, Penicillium and sponges, everything. Yeah, and also please look at the exercises problems given in the textbook, NCERT book. I think you can answer everything. Why is reproductive essential for organism? Why? I told you, for the continuity and for the variation, that is for the survival purpose. Which is a better mode of reproduction, sexual or asexual method? It should be sexual method. Why is offspring formed by asexual reproduction referred to as a clone? Because offsprings formed are genetically, morphologically identical to parental cells. Offsprings formed by sexual reproduction have better chance of survival because they give the variations, and variations are important for the survival purpose. How does progeny formed from asexual reproduction differ from those formed by the sexual reproduction? The progeny, meaning offsprings which are formed from asexual, are called clone, whereas in case of sexual they are different. So distinguish between both of them. Vegetative propagules, all are direct questions. Okay, coming to the 11th question, identify each part of flowering plant and write whether it is haploid or diploid. Ovary are diploid, anthers are diploid, egg, pollen, male gametes are haploid, zygote are diploid. 2n. Yes, define external fertilization, mention the disadvantage, differentiate between zoospore and zygote. Differentiate between gametogenesis from embryogenesis. Gametogenesis is formation of gamete. Embryogenesis is formation of embryo from the zygote. Here, 15th question. Describe the 4 post-fertilization changes in the flower, where you are supposed to answer that in case of flowering flowers, the post-fertilization changes, meaning the petals, sepals, stamens fall off and ovary is converted into fruit, ovule into seed, and zygote will develop into embryo. Bisexual flower, collect 5 bisexual flower from your neighbor. Okay, all this. Yeah, we can examine few flowers. Okay, why are offsprings of oviparous animals at a greater risk compared to offsprings in the viviparous? Oviparous meaning egg laying. So once egg is laid, it is easy for the predators. Predators can eat it off. But in case of viviparous, the offspring is present inside the body. Therefore, they are safe. Clear? With this, we will complete first chapter. In the next video, we should move to the second chapter. Before that, if you have any doubts, please ask me in the group. Yes, thank you.